Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. Good morning, Renee. How are you today? So nice to see you. So nice to see you. Good morning, Mary Lee. How are you? How are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. It's so good to have you here again, Renee. I've missed you. So, if you are brand new here, and you would do me the kindness of liking and following Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. That's where you'll just have the best group of artsy friends. They're kind and creative and encouraging. It's the best. Good morning, Lori. Holy smokes, 28 degrees. Yikesity yikes. Let's see. Well, I'm so glad you got to be here. But you remember that even if you can't be here live for any of my classes, for anything that I do, any of the lives that I do, you can always watch them on the replay. You can always watch them on the replay. They're always here. You always have access to them. So let's talk about who we're going to talk about today. We are good morning, Sherry. How are you? I was just in Tucson. Not last week, the week before. We came down to, Jeff has this fancy suitcase and we came down to get it. There's only one repair place in the whole state and it's in Tucson, so we dropped it off and now we have to go back and pick it up. Whatever. Anyway, I was sure thinking about you. I know Oracle is a little further away, but I was in your general area and I was sure thinking about you. So today we are going to be talking about Yayoi Kusama. And we are, she is the princess of polka dots. We have talked about her before. We've studied her before. Oh, I'm so glad you watched the replay. That makes me so happy, Renee. That makes me so happy. Good morning, Keels. So anyway, in celebration of I wanted to revisit her for many reasons. I wanted to revisit her because, yeah, I know it isn't the same, is it? It isn't the same. Because then we can have a conversation. But the artsy fun is still here for you. So, in celebration of Yayoi, I painted my nails with polka dots because remember, she's the princess of polka dots. So isn't this the craziest nail polish? Do you see those little polka dots? I don't know if you can see that. Is it blurry? Sorry. It's probably blurry because I'm moving. There we go. Anyway, it is, remember I was talking about this nail polish that I had gotten. It's called Northern Nail Polish. And this is called Michigan Wildflowers. You know I'm a Michigan girl. And so, do you see this? Isn't it the craziest? I'm just in love with it. And that's a little bit of self-care I can do for myself, you know? But let's jump right into our beautiful artist. I hope that you are taking some time to do little bits of self-care for yourselves too. It makes a huge difference, you know? So remember my sister got me this amazing book, Women in Art. I love this book. I love it. I love it. I love it. I go back to it all the time. So this is all about Yayo, and she is still alive. She is still painting every single day. How amazing is that? She is known especially for her polka dots and her pumpkins. And so let's talk a little bit about her. She was born to a family that owned a seed company in Japan in 1929, I believe. And she had a father who was kind of a philanderer. And so the mom, I don't know if it was because of that or just because it was in her nature, but she was quite abusive. And so that was, and it seems like Yayo might be the youngest when I've looked at pictures of their family. Anyway, she took a lot of it out on Yayo. And early in her life, she was walking around, like, I think she had to go work during the war, she had to go work in the plants making parachutes. One day she was walking for the soldiers. One day she was walking around in a wooded area, and she came upon a stream, and she saw these rocks. Lots and lots and lots of stones, and those stones were round, and that's when she started to have her first hallucinations, and she's been plagued with those her whole life. So anyway, she's caught off by these hallucinations, but she's inspired by these circles, right? So she runs home and she draws them in her sketchbook, and she that's where the inspiration begins. So isn't that the cool? I love those. Oh, I just love a story about a person. Anyway, fast forward. So she, her parents say that she cannot study art, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, they finally say that she can study art years later, but it's in the traditional Japanese style, and that's just not her jam. And so she writes to, are you ready for it? George O'Keeffe. Do you remember this story? If you've studied this with me before, then you know that, you know this story. So just indulge me. So anyway, she writes to George O'Keeffe, and George O'Keeffe starts to become her business advisor. She saves up enough money to get herself to America, and her goal is New York City, because that was the hub of artistic the artistic vibe, right? Was New York City in the late 50s. I think she got there in 57 maybe. Anyway, and then and she's willing to do whatever it takes. She's a super hard worker. She begins her first, she does lots of installments. She does what they called back in the day happenings, where they would just they would put the word out that something was going to happen, and then a big crowd would gather for this happening, and she had a whole series of them. Some of them were with naked people covered in painted polka dots. They were just, can you imagine the craze? Anyway, let's see, what else do I have to tell you? So some of her first paintings were called infinity nets. Let's see if I can, thought I had her queued up here. Some of her first paintings were called infinity nets. So here's a print of an infinity net. She was really moved by infinity. So do you see this? Come on, so beautiful. So anyway, she would replicate this with thick paint and net, and so the paint was very thick and textural. Let's see if I can find more things. So here's another version of infinity. She wants it to go on and on and on and on. So really kind of keep that in your mind for our creations today. Look at this room. Here's an installation, and the entire room is covered in polka dots by the patrons of the installation, by the people that come to see the installation. She has this white room, and every single thing in it is white, and everyone's given circles, polka dot stickers, and then they just cover everything with polka dots. How amazing is that? I just love that, how interactive, and wouldn't you have loved to have been a part of that? She's famous for her pumpkins because she saw those pumpkins during those early years also. And let's see. I am not getting all of my comments. It looks like you guys are talking a lot, and I am not seeing what's going on. Oh, Sherry. Yikes. I'm so sorry you were in the hospital. You don't have to participate. You can just participate by being here, right? So here, I really like this painting because she combined her love of pumpkins, and pumpkins really spoke to her, probably through a hallucination, but also she really liked their shapes. She really liked just their presence. And so you will see them over and over and over again in her work. So I really want to do, so here's my pumpkin that I did last year, July 18th, 2020. Here's the pumpkin that I did in her style last year. But this year, I want to do another pumpkin because that's so reminiscent of her. And it's October. It's pumpkin month, right? But I really want to incorporate that infinity element. So I don't know if I want to do it here too, if I want to surround the outside with that infinity, or if I just want to do it on my new work. I haven't decided that yet. I remember last year when I painted this one, I had a friend who had painted in these colors, and it just kind of struck me. I'm kind of just drawn to color combinations and that kind of thing. And so this one I did in cool colors, which were the inspiration from my friend Connie. And so today I'm going to do all warm colors, which is traditionally pumpkin colors, right? So anyway, be thinking about that. Let's see if I can find one of her original net. Oh, look at this. So she has look at these. So she has these exhibitions that are just she has infinity rooms. So you enter the room and look at it. You can walk through this and you're just surrounded by art. How cool is that? Seriously, I'm just madly in love with that. I'm not seeing the nets, but you can look them up. So if you looked up Yayoi Kusama infinity nets, you will find them everywhere. Look at, she has these flowers that bloom at midnight. That was a huge installation that she did. Everything covered in, look at them, they're so beautiful. I might want to do something like that too. Anyway, so let's start, because this class is only an hour long, let's start fiddling around in our art journals. And I'll just continue to tell you facts about her. She's just so amazing. So I've got my pencil. She usually she goes straight to paint. And so, but you know me, I like to start with a pencil. It's comfortable for me. But you do what's comfortable for you. I think I want to do another pumpkin. And I noticed that she does all different shapes of pumpkins. Okay, what did you say, Renee? One of those pumpkins, one of those flowers. I don't know what, I'm trying to read it on my phone, on the camera stand. Could be the flower of a pumpkin. Oh, yes. Yes, it could. So anyway, she does tall, skinny pumpkins, round pumpkins, all different sizes. So I'm going to draw mine. She has this pumpkin that's a little bit skinny at the top and wider at the bottom. Sorry guys, I'm plagued with allergies this morning. Who knows why? Who knows why? Anyway. Thank you, Jan. Honestly. Anyway, so I'm going to follow that shape. I kind of have this idea. It's kind of almost gourd-like, right? But I want to have each segment kind of follow that shape. Do my stem, and then let's do some segments that come from the back. You know what? Let's have this come right down behind these bits. There we go. Ugh, allergies are the worst. So let's, and then let's think about how we can, I think I want to somehow incorporate, you know, those bitty tendrils that kind of come out. I love those little curly cues. And then I'm feeling like maybe, let's incorporate one of those flowers up here. Right? So let's have the flower behind this curly cue, and then let's have another curly cue that comes you know what? I'm thinking I could have a leaf and a flower, right? That's not a pumpkin leaf, is it? More. But this is quite, she's certainly known to be as a contemporary artist. So how about, is everyone else going to do a pumpkin today? She was certainly a trailblazer. Oh, so where did I leave off? So she had these happenings. And then she really started to develop her style. She really started to, I feel like this one I want to do a little more shapely. I'm digging that. Yep, I like that better. Because I noticed in her works, she had lots of, her pumpkins were quite shapely. Anyway, so she was in New York, and she was having a great time, and she was really pushing the boundaries artistically. I mean, imagine, it was still the late 50s, early 60s, even into the 70s. So to be a woman in the art world, we've studied lots of women who, that was a rough row to hoe as a woman. Anyway, but because her art had become such a coping mechanism for her, she was prolific. She was creating, like, what at one point she did 70 watercolor paintings in a day. I mean, it was crazy. But can you imagine if that was the way you got peace, then you would absolutely continue to do it, right? So her belief is infinite dots in the universe. The earth is a dot, the stars are dots, we are dots, everything is a dot. That's kind of her belief system. She would get these intrusive thoughts, and the way that she coped with that was to create infinite repetitive work. And so we certainly see that in her. I have not been able to see her works in person, but I sure look forward to the day when I can. Let's see. my old notes. So, I think it was in about, so she became the princess of polka dots. So she's in New York and she's creating like crazy, and she hits a boom. She creates clothing lines and shoes, and she's everywhere. She had she had, I think it was, who did I see that she had like a line of purses with, it was a big name like Coach or no, Louis Vuitton. So can you imagine how cool is that? And how's that for validation that you're really it, you know, that you're really successful, and that your art speaks to people. Everybody take a drink. She's been called Japan's most important living artist. So, one thing that I will say, so around the 70s, it was all starting to be too much for her, and so she returned to Tokyo because she needed a slower pace. She returned to Japan. She needed quiet. And when she got there, she began living in a hospital for the mentally ill. And here's the interesting thing. She's lived there for over 40 years. She lives there during the day, at night, and she goes across the street to her studio and creates art from like 9 to 6 every day. How amazing is that? For her, that safety and security allows her to be able to create her amazing art. I just thought that was just so inspiring that she figured out a way to make it all work for her, you know? So on this pumpkin that I created last year, I just wanted to fill it with polka dots. And if you know me, you know I love polka dots. My whole wedding was polka dots. Everything was polka dots. My dress, my cake, the boys' cummerbunds, our decoration, everything was polka dots. Anyway, but this time, so I filled with polka dots because it just spoke to me. This time I'm feeling like I really want to take my time more and have my dots reflect the shape. So I want them to reflect the shape in the pattern that I put them down on my shapes, but also in the size of the shapes. Oh, it was something, Lori. It was something. She is 92 years old, and here's the thing, Keely. She still creates art every single day. And I think that's the key, isn't it? If it's you, then you figure out a way to do it every single day, to fill your life with it. Let's see. So I told you that she was a sculptor, installation artist, painter, performance artist. So by the time when she got back to Japan, she was not a known artist in Japan. It took a while, but now she's just a national treasure there. She received a National Lifetime Achievement Award from the Order of the Rising Sun in 2006. Here's a quote. I am just another dot in the world. So I thought, oh, you know what? I'm totally going to incorporate that somehow. I mean, she didn't just paint pumpkins, certainly. She painted so many different images and incorporated her repetitive and almost infinity like bits and pieces that filled whatever the shape was that she was creating. She had some paintings that were kind of quite abstract, that were just like kind of organic-y lines that almost looked like, I want to say spaghetti, but not really spaghetti, because it was thicks and thins, you know? And then she would fill those with these repetitive shapes. And for her, the pumpkin just represented stability, comfort, and modesty. I thought that was interesting. So, let's see. I'm feeling like I want like some of the bottom. Polka dots. There we go. It's kind of coming, it's kind of, you know how you have like an idea in your head? And this is kind of where I wanted to go with this. And this one, I think I want to, I think I might want to do tone on tone. I might want to do a monochromatic pumpkin. Some of her pumpkins are bold, like orange with black polka dots. Some of them are other colors. Some of the, oh my gosh, like the sculpture that Laura talked about that was in the flood. Some of them are metal. Some of those are still what's the word I want to say? Oh, let's put a big one right here. Are still fetching a very high price tag. I love that. I love that her art is still in high demand. Oh, I'm loving it. And not really spaghetti, but like that tube kind of shape, Renee. Only it was kind of like that and that and that. Oh my gosh, so cool. So I hope that everybody is starting to draw whatever your inspiration is. And I think that, like I said, I think that we need to really think about taking our time. Last time I felt like I rushed myself too much. I think I want it to appear that my dots go into infinity, which would be speaking to the theme of her works. So I'm kind of digging that idea. But I want them to be more random. And like I said, I think this one I really want to do in warms. Like I'm thinking, well, Either I could do pinks and oranges and maybe a little bit of yellows, or I could just do all orange on here and then do some of those other colors in the flower maybe. Anyway, how's everyone doing? So good, I hope. Oh, I might need to blow my nose again. Sorry. Hi. Has anyone seen any of her exhibits? I would sure love to see one of her exhibits. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? She's the Japanese queen of contemporary art. I thought that's a title, isn't it? And I just love that her shapes are quite organic, that they're, Hello, Anne. Welcome. Today is our artist series day. We do an artist study series once a month. And this one is Yayoi Kusama. And she is still alive, makes art every day. She's 92. She lives in Tokyo. I'm really liking, I want my dots to help shape my segments of my pumpkin, right? So they're bigger on the bottom and they get smaller, but I'm feeling like I want them to be, but that I also want to reflect that in my color, right? I want to have my color help me grow the shape, the form, just like we do if we're painting a flower in a pop-in paint party or in any of my other classes. Let's use our color to help us. Well, if that's the way you want to go. If you want to paint in her style, she just does solid color. She doesn't do much shading, but I kind of like it. So we'll see. I have some time to ponder. I have a lot of dots to draw. So use that time. I hope you do the same, that you use that time to ponder it and think about how you want to, how you want your painting to look. What's the vibe you're selling with your art, It's very soothing, isn't it? Yeah. Everybody take a drink. And I think giving yourself permission to just take your time and do your process however it speaks to you. I think that is for me, that's paramount. You want it to be what feels right to you. So just continue to fill. If you're comfortable using your black pen first, you go right ahead. I will be doing in pencil, and then I will do everything in my black pen, and then I will apply color. Oh, Sherry, I love it. But that's my process, you know. I like to do it in pencil and then pen and then add color, and then I'll probably go over with my pen again. So I've watched so many interviews with her, and interviewers have talked about when she comes in the morning and to watch her process, she sits down and she has a canvas, and the canvas is often painted one color, right? And then she'll come in, and sometimes she paints a border with a contrasting color, and that she just picks up that brush and she just starts to paint her dots. She just begins. And that she paints like that for quite a time, and then we'll look up and the interview will begin. How cool I just love that. Like, she has it in her head and she has to get it out onto her canvas. I love that. I just thought pumpkins were so appropriate. And you know what? I will just tell you, I am pumpkin crazy. I just did a pumpkin art print bowl last weekend. I'm doing this pumpkin. I'm doing pumpkins in my wordsmith art, and I'm doing pumpkins in my Bible journaling, and they're all different. Ugh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I just think they're so, oh, these are kind of big. Are so, I don't know, maybe it's because it's so reminiscent of my childhood, you know, that it was always such a fun time of year, fall. We decorated with gourds and Indian corn and corn husks and gourds and pumpkins. And we all got to go pick our own pumpkin. Oh, we loved it. Loved it, loved it. I feel like some of these maybe need to be a bit bigger. See, this is the beauty of a pencil. And this time I'm feeling like I might want to begin with a base color first, and then, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm feeling like I want to paint this in a different way. So think about how you want to paint. I'm feeling like I want to paint a watery wash of orange, say, first, and then come in and deepen my polka dots. That's what I'm kind of feeling like I might do today. It's kind of a little bit of an overcast day today, so it might be a perfect painting day. I'm liking that better, I think. I'm feeling like I get that nice gradation of size. How's everyone doing? We're in the downhill stretch. Yikes. But I'm really feeling like I wanted to do a pumpkin again, but I wanted to embrace her style even more this time around, if that's possible, because I fell in love with her, and I'm just in love with her style and her passion. Oh, that's so cool, Carol. I'm sure that recipient will be so happy to get that pumpkin card. They're just a happy, aren't they a fruit? Pumpkins, I believe. Are they considered a vegetable? I don't know. Does anyone know? Oh, Jan, I can hardly wait to see it. I can hardly wait to see it. I can hardly wait to see everybody's paintings. Isn't that always like, it's like we're like we're together. when we share all of our end results. And sometimes I will say, we've talked about this in the past, you do not have to finish it all in one fell swoop, right? You can work on it and then go away and come back and work on it some more and then go away and come back. And you can post works in progress. Please, I post works in progress all the time because I go back and add a little something here, a little something there. Like I said, I'm feeling like, I think I might want to, sorry, there was a hiccup. I think I might want to incorporate some infinity in the background of this. Me too, Keely. It's always fascinating, isn't it, to see where, how it hits a certain person and how their art inspires. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. It is a fruit. Thanks, Lori. I thought it was a fruit, but then, you know, when you start to doubt yourself. So sorry. I don't know what hit me this morning, but it did. Everybody take a drink. I'm really feeling like I might want to do some Oh, Renee. That's good to know. Seeds on the inside equals fruit. Interesting. I did not know that. And I grew up in a farm community. Seeds on the inside equals fruit. Thanks for the information. Oh, well, is that the store, Jan, that you were telling us about? Well, I bet you it's oh, no, no, no. That was it's the you did tell me about that. It's the retirement community or something, right? I'm sure your cheerful disposition is needed there. But isn't it like art is such a it's such an escape, isn't it? At least it sure is for me. Assisted living. That's right. That's right. That's right. Everything does happen for a reason, doesn't it? Oh, I'm loving this. I knew that tomatoes are a fruit, but interesting. 40 hours. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh, it's starting to come together, you guys. I'm loving it. I'm trying to make them as random as possible and not have like a line, a line, a line. Do you know? You are a very good friend. You are, Jan. But think of all that money you can earn and save up to buy more art supplies. Let's see. Is everybody else filling their space with polka dots? And what color palette are you thinking? Are you going to go with warm or cool? I was thinking about the teal because the teal is, isn't that representative, like a teal pumpkin, isn't that representative of giving treats that have no nuts for those with nut allergies? Maybe. Isn't that what a teal pumpkin? A teal pumpkin represents. So I was kind of feeling that when I did this one. But today I'm feeling like I just want to do something with a little warmer vibe. Crazy. I can't believe that our time is almost done. I hope that everyone is inspired. And creates. You're doing warm vibe? How about you, Keely? I know, won't that just put you in the autumn mood? I mean, in Arizona, our autumn is a little bit, well, it's not a Midwest autumn, but it's still cool. It's still the same time of year. Oh, interesting, Jan. So I want to do my stem, like everything's covered in polka dots, right? So even the tendrils will be covered in polka dots, the leaves, the flowers, everything. So I'm going to do a little bit different polka dots on my stem, maybe like just slightly bigger, so that I can differentiate the two. I'm loving it. Ooh, 3 pumpkins. Interesting. Yeah, I just, who knows? We'll see where we go. But I can't wait for everybody to post what they've created. And remember, it can be a work in progress. Please. Mine will absolutely be a work in progress. But I think I want to incorporate her quote. What was her quote that I just told you? I am just another dot in the world. I thought that was so good. So I think I want to incorporate that down at the bottom of my page, because I've got a little space there. But I really do think I want to incorporate the infinity vibe too. And I just don't know exactly how I'm going to do that yet. I think I want to do something quite angular, because the pumpkins are so round. I feel like that'll be a really nice juxtaposition. So I'm kind of feeling that. Which pen am I going to use? Well, I have a number 1, and I thought I had my plastic nib around here somewhere. I think I might start with that. There we go. Micron plastic nib. Fabulous pen. Because it won't bend. The nib won't bend. And I am doing my polka dots in my same sketchy style. Ooh, interesting, Laura. I'm anxious to see what your amoeba kind of organic shapes kind of look like. That's what I was kind of feeling with my pumpkin shape. I wanted it to be more organic looking. Fine and ultra, interesting. Fine and ultra fine Sharpies. I think I'm gonna start with my plastic nib, and then I don't know, because I was feeling like maybe my outlines I would do with something quite bold, like my 10 or my 12, just because that would give a really bold. I want to do more variety in line size, like I did variety in my dot size. I'm really thinking it through this time. And I want everybody to just, gosh, go out and just have the best Saturday. Make it an artsy day. You know, and remember, you don't have to finish it all in one sitting. You don't even have to finish it all in one day or one weekend. It can take as long as you need it to take, because there's no test. I promise. I promise. I just want everybody to be happy and filled with creative juices, and go out and learn more about Yayoi Kusama. Go out and learn more about her. Just look her up. You'll be impressed. You'll be impressed. And her wigs are crazy cool. So just be on the lookout for that. You probably saw her picture on my social media this morning. Anyway. Oh my gosh. Renee, you sketch till you're feeling like you're done. No pressure here. No pressure here. It's just weird for me because I can't see where everybody is. So that's why I ask. But no, don't ever feel pressure. Don't ever feel pressure. You just keep having yourself a time. Well, the clock on the wall says it's time to sign off. I adore you all. I will be going to take some allergy medicine. And I think I'll be working on my pumpkin some more today. So I'll look for your creations online. Remember, if you post in the private group, that's not open to everybody. It's just open to, just us. But if you want to put it in the big group, don't even worry about it. You can. You have a blessed day too. Thank you all so much. And I can hardly wait to see what we all create. I adore you all, and keep making art every single day. I don't care if it's a doodle on a piece of paper on your grocery list. Keep making art every single day. I adore you all. Thank you. Bye.